All right, we're back at it again. This time in the kayak. As you probably know, if you've watched the channel, boat's in the shop. Boat's been in the shop. So, we're kayak fishing, which isn't the end of the world. We're still fishing. Trying to organize my stuff. Not nearly as much room on the front deck of a kayak as the front deck of a boat. But it's fall. Actually it's late October right now. I don't know what the water temperature is. I don't have a graph on this. But the water temperature should be cooling way down. It's getting to mid 30s and overnight. So I'm sure the water temperature is down quite a bit. The general rule of thumb then is that all of the bass go to the back of the creeks, back of the bays, and start feeding up. That is what you read in the textbooks or what you've seen on YouTube or wherever you're getting your information. I don't necessarily agree, and we're gonna see if it's true today. Sure, sometimes that's the case, but up here in Michigan, that is not always the case. A lot of times they're still on those drops, on the steep breaks. They are feeding up, they are getting fat. So hopefully we catch a fatty today. We're gonna try to avoid the wind because we're in the kayak. So we're not gonna try a lot of that deep stuff. So kind of just hoping they are shallow and hoping that the textbooks are right, but I don't necessarily agree with them. If I was in my boat, I would start on some steeper breaks and see what's going on, but we're not in the boat, so to the back of the creeks we go. Here we go. One thing, as you saw me unload there, first, that didn't take very long. Second, a couple things came to mind while I was doing that. First thing is, make sure you've tied up what you want to use, because it's much more difficult to do it in the kayak than it is the boat. In the boat, I never really cared about it. I would do it while I was fishing, but in the kayak, I'd suggest getting ready first. Couple necessities as far as I'm concerned with kayak rigging. This right here, I don't know if you can see this, but basically a paddle holder. And the reason that's a necessity is you get your hands free instead of having to lay it across your lap and do all sorts of other weird things with the paddle. You can just clip it in there and hold it. The other thing that I've done is I've put a bungee on my net, and then just a carabiner to the handle. I don't know if that's a necessity necessarily, but if you're going to use a net, it seems to be the way to go. Obviously you want it long enough so that you can reach both sides of the kayak, but a couple things I was thinking about, and then limit your rods. I almost didn't bring my drop shot rod, and I will forget it's back there. I put it on this side because I predominantly cast right-handed, so hopefully I don't catch it because I forgot it's back there. The other two rods, well, three I'm using are right here in front of me, and I'll go back and forth between them pretty much with ease. So just a couple tips, a couple things to think about. There's a big old carp right next to me. Doesn't even know I'm here because I'm so stealthy. See, here I go casting the wrong arm already. I know I'm gonna hook that thing, it's gonna bug me. Probably shouldn't even brought it. My plan is not to fish deep, but you kind of want, like going back to the first tip, you don't want to have to be retying, especially a drop shot in your kayak. It's not always the easiest thing to do. Another thing, another little tip is, when possible, let the wind push you to where you need to go. I'm just kind of going in this bay pretty fast, actually. We're just gonna let the Mother Nature take us where she's gonna take us. Another thing you hear a lot about in the fall is that they're chasing, and that is generally true. So you can use some moving baits, and I should be starting with a moving bait. I just have not. I'm starting with that poop bait you guys saw me recently do a video on, because I've gained a lot of confidence in that last little bit with that guy. But we are going to throw a swim jig around. I like a swim jig as my moving bait because I can also use it as a drop bait. So that's why I tied that on. I don't know how long. I don't think there's going to be anything back here. It's pretty dirty, but throw around for a little bit. The only good thing about this bay I'm in right now is that the wind is pushing in here, which is generally good for congregating bait fish. So that's what we're hoping for. Oh geez. A lot less fishermen out right now, which is cool as far as pressure. There was 0 boats at the ramp I'm at. There's 2 ramps on this lake though, and I did see a kayak and a boat out here, so there's a couple people fishing, but not like normal. Normally you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry out here. What's really nice not having the wake boats, the party barges, which the party barges don't bother me too much. They just tend to ride around in circles in a pontoon and they don't care how close they get to you. Those wake boats though, especially in a kayak, shouldn't even be legal in my opinion. That's good cast. Only if there's a fish there. And there was not. Haven't seen a bait fish yet. Haven't seen anything lifelike. That's disheartening. Like I said, I don't generally believe they're all back in the creeks or back in the back of the pockets. This one's much cleaner than the last one, so we'll see if there's a difference there. But so far, no good. All right, they are definitely not in the back of this creek or this bay. We are moving onward. The only thing we haven't done is fish some of these lily pads, so I guess we'll throw it around here for a minute. See if this matters. It's at least somewhat green, but it too is dying. So one way to help you eliminate water is, especially shallow water, if you are making good casts, right? You've made 3 or 4 docks, you've made some really good casts, and there's no bluegill nips, there's no missed strikes, there's nothing happening, it's just nothing. Probably a good indication to get out of the area you're in. The fish are still in this lake, they're just not there. Only thing we saw was a flash in this area. We had a fish flash at our swim jig. Seen about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 bluegill the whole day, which just tells me we're in the wrong spots. Don't have a fish finder to see any other kind of bait fish, bait balls, nothing like that. Kind of just gonna have to get lucky. if I don't keep us moving the right direction, we'll end up having to row all the way back again. And I really don't want to do that. I might go out in front of the launch and then let the water let the wind blow us back. Let's see here. Give this a few more casts. I'm not uber confident in what's going on. All right, let's go the other way. Oh, this wind is not even that bad. It's just a lot of physical labor this way, which I guess is good. Hey, that's a good fish too. Right on the seawall, popped it off their yard. Alright, so there is a few shallow. Like I said, this is a little bit deeper. That's probably a 3.5, 4 pounder. Getting fat, starting to eat up. Figured out a lot of dead water before we caught that one, so that was cool. Let's see if we can do that again. There's a lot of seawall on this lake. All right. All right, that's gonna be a wrap. While I'm rowing back to the boat launch here, we'll talk a little bit about what transpired today. I started the video, I told you that I was pretty sure, given the time of year and what's going on, that they would be on drop-offs, which I firmly believe they are. The whole 90% of fish and 10% of water is a real thing, and we just were never really on them. We caught the one good fish, 3.5, 4 pounds, in what I thought was a pretty peculiar spot. Dirty water, nothing on a random seawall, in about 4 feet of water. So anyway, going back, I don't put all your eggs in one basket when you're talking bays and you're talking shallow in the fall. I don't think that's the truth. I'm pretty sure I've said that before on this channel, and I will continue to try and prove it wrong, but they're still in the deeper water. They move up shallow in the spring. Some stay shallow all summer, and then in the fall, I think they group up out deep on the drops. That's my theory. Got no boat to go out and prove that tomorrow. But we did catch one. The limitations of the kayak kept us out of trying to do that, even without sonar. I know where there are some drops on this lake, and the wind just would not allow me to fish them without a lot of effort that I was not really willing to do today. So we got out 3-4 hours, caught one fish, covered a lot of water for manual kayak fishing, so I'm not mad about it. I'd do it again, and I probably will soon. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. If you haven't already seen the Burton Mullet Classic video, go check it out. That's one of the main reasons I'm not on my boat right now. But excellent fishing up on Burton Mullet. Big smallmouth. I say excellent fishing. There was few and far between, but quality fish. Every fish we caught pretty much was quality. So go check out that video. Like and subscribe if you haven't. We're up to 220-ish viewers or subscribers. 90% of you haven't subscribed, so it would help the channel immensely if you did subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'll keep bringing you content as long as you keep watching. Thanks for watching.